Magnesium adds yet another layer. This mineral is required for over 300 enzymatic processes, many of which directly intersect with inflammation and oxidative stress. Magnesium deficiency has been consistently linked to elevated levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, and increased production of interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha, central players in the inflammatory cascade. Low magnesium also disrupts glucose metabolism and mitochondrial function, leading to increased production of reactive oxygen species, ROS, which in turn provoke even more inflammation. What begins as a mild nutritional gap gradually compounds into systemic inflammatory dysfunction, not because the immune system is failing, but because it is overcompensating in an attempt to adapt. In this framework, inflammaging is not an autonomous deterioration of the immune system, but a chronic nutritional stress response, a state of perpetual alert triggered by the absence of regulatory and resolving inputs. The good news is that this state is reversible. Interventions that reintroduce anti-inflammatory nutrients, especially long-chain omega-3s, flavonoid-rich plants, magnesium, and other cofactors like selenium, vitamin E, and zinc, can recalibrate the inflammatory milieu. Clinical studies have shown that dietary patterns rich in these nutrients, such as the Mediterranean or anti-inflammatory diet, can significantly reduce markers of inflammation in both young and older individuals. In some cases, these changes occur within weeks, showing just how responsive the inflammatory system is when supplied with what it needs. This understanding also helps explain why certain populations age with remarkably low rates of inflammation-driven disease. It's not that their genes are better, it's that their lifelong diets have provided a steady stream of inflammation-regulating nutrients. Conversely, populations exposed to nutrient-poor, ultra-processed diets exhibit signs of premature inflammaging, sometimes decades earlier than expected. Their immune systems are not aging, they are reacting. When we reframe chronic inflammation in this way, we reclaim a sense of agency over a process that's long been thought to be beyond our control. We recognize that aging is not a disease in itself, but often the consequence of cumulative, modifiable inputs. Chronic inflammation becomes not a failure of immunity, but a feedback loop demanding correction. And that correction is nutritional. Ultimately, to view inflammaging as inevitable is to misunderstand the nature of the immune system. In truth, the immune system is designed for adaptability, repair, and balance. It is resilient when nourished and hyperreactive when starved. The growing evidence that diet can reset inflammatory patterns even late in life underscores the urgency of abandoning the idea that aging is purely degenerative. Aging is, in large part, the long-term echo of how well we have met the body's nutritional needs. And when we meet those needs more completely, inflammation quiets, tissues recover, and the system remembers how to resolve instead of react. This is not disease reversal, it is restoration. And it begins not in the genome but in the grocery list.